Dallas Goedert, thank you so much for joining me on the Eagles Insider podcast. 2019, you had your first playoff experience. What was it like?
Oh man, it was a lot of fun. It was kind of a crazy game, a crazy year, but we were down in Chicago. I got my first playoff touchdown, which was really cool. And then, obviously the way that game ended with the double doink, you still see highlights of that. So winning my first playoff game that I was ever in, as well as scoring a touchdown, it's tough to beat the start of your playoff career that way. Obviously, we weren't able to finish it that year, but it was a fun first game for sure.
It was your first season in the NFL, Dallas. I mean, players had told you, obviously, what it would be like. What kind of advice did you get? And then, I don't know, how different was the experience? Was what they told you in that 2018 season, did that really prepare you for that game in the playoffs?
Yeah, kind of the biggest message that I was told is that everything just amplifies a little bit. It's the preseason, everybody's kind of out there, you get your first taste, and it's the regular season, you think everybody's trying their hardest. But everybody said they're not trying their hardest when you get to the playoff, like, you're going to really find out who's different because there's some people that can take it that next gear. So obviously playing them, we were playing Khalil Mack. They had a couple good other DNs. The place was rocking. It was loud. It definitely lived up to the expectations. But for me, that's what you live for. To play in those games like that, it was super fun. It was super cool. Obviously, they were playing hard, but, it's easy to match that. And when you do, it's just who can be tougher longest.
Yeah, and I mean, the emotions of that win and then the loss the following week, is it more than you feel after a regular season win or loss?
Yeah, it's definitely more. Obviously you enjoy any win, and a win in the playoffs is kind of like a win in the regular season because then you get to look forward to that next week. But a loss in the playoffs is a tough thing to deal with and handle. When it gets there, it's you've been with these guys since the end of July, and you get here and boom, it's over. It's like come in tomorrow, grab your stuff, meet with the coach if you want to, and we'll talk to you later down the road. So it's crazy that you can have a group of people together for so long, lose one game, and all of a sudden, man, we'll see you guys next year. Who's ever here, we'll see you then. And if you're not here, good luck. So losing the playoffs is tough, and it's something you don't want to do. But to get there is a big accomplishment.
Dallas, so what will it be like for you the rest of this week? Has the preparation to this point been as usual? And then, just between now, Wednesday, and Sunday at 12:45 p.m., what's it going to be like for you?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much a normal week. There'll be a little bit of stuff, making sure you're finding out all the details that you could possibly miss in an install, going through the practice film, finding any details, and then watching film on them. Because once you get into this postseason, the margin of error is so small. One little mess up here or there, can cost you the entire game. And, it's really just about doing your job and then, not trying to do too much, not trying to make plays that you're not supposed to make. Just letting the game come to you, do your job, focus on your technique. And, when the play is supposed to be made, if you're doing the technique and the details right, you'll be able to make it.
Dallas, what are your thoughts on this offense and what you think you can accomplish in the postseason?
I think we got a great offense, a very dynamic offense. Obviously, we had a great year rushing the ball. We got a physical O-line. We like to run the ball, dominate the trenches, and then we can just do so much off of that. We have wide receivers that can make big plays, a quarterback that can do anything, running backs that has obviously rushed for a ton of yards, a lot of explosive plays this year. I think we just got a really good group, and I think if we can play to our standards, we could have a long run in the playoffs.
I believe you're going to come out and start fast. So when that happens, we're going to be very positive here, knowing that's going to happen. What will that mean for the rest of the game?
It's setting the tone early. It doesn't really matter as much how you start. You have to be able to finish throughout the game. So that's really our biggest thing is we want to play 60 minutes. We want to play hard. We want to be able to wear out the Buccaneers and, just execute the offensive game plan.
The Tampa Bay defense, I'm sure, looks a bit different to you than it did back in October. What can you tell us about what's changed in Tampa?
Yeah, this was actually a game that I missed with COVID, so I wasn't able to be there. But they've changed a little bit. I think since we played them last, our offense has changed more. We kind of found our identity. I think more so than what has changed with them, it's more what changed with us and what we're good at and being able to, bring what we've been able to grow at throughout the year into the playoffs, I think makes us a dangerous team to play.
What's it been like around the guys this week? What is the energy level like? What is the kind of the sense of anticipation?
Yeah, coming in on Monday, we got a good first look at them, got a little install, got to get a little practice in, and, just a little head start on them. And the energy in there was awesome. Everybody was flying around. It's playoff time. The energy has to be high at all times, and everybody's got to be ready to go because, like we said earlier, it's win or go home.
The defense is going to shut down Gronkowski, but just from a stepping away from this game and looking at him as a football player, Dallas, what makes him so effective?
I mean, he's an incredible athlete, an incredible player, but he's just so good at everything he does. He's fast, he runs good routes, he's crisp, and then in the blocking game, I don't know about it as much, but when he was younger, he was a dominant blocker. He would roll people off the sidelines, things like that. And then anytime you just have his mindset, his nastiness, when he gets the ball in his hand, it's a dangerous sight. DBs, nobody really wants to tackle him, and he definitely used that to his advantage.
Is there a mindset that this team is kind of galvanizing us against the world kind of feeling?
I don't really look too much on what the world's thinking. I have high expectations. I know this team is planning on going down there for a win, so I guess we can shock the world if nobody thinks we're going to do it.
I love it. Dal, so like for Jack Stoll, like what kind of messages do you have for him this week?
For me, I'm just gonna kind of keep it light with him. I love the way he attacks the week. He's good with whatever I tell him he's doing. So I'm just gonna tell him to keep it light. Don't make it more than it is. Just be ready to go when the time comes.
I love it. Dallas Goedert, thank you so much for joining on the Eagles Insider Podcast. Good luck on Sunday against Tampa Bay.
Thank you.